And good afternoon, class, professor. My name is Pablo Lopez. I'm going to talk about the interaction design for teaching visually impaired students. First, we have that the authors are Darren Graham, Ian Venice, and Peter Nichol. They are writers from London or from the United Kingdom. Graham belongs to the Greenwich University, Venice to the York University, and Nichol to the Ulster University. All are from the United Kingdom. All are well-known researchers and writers. Now we have the introduction here that they explain that they have this lack of information when it comes to the cognitive area of teaching visually impaired students. They don't know what they need because they don't use them as a target user, so they don't get the feedback of the visually impaired students. That is what this project is about, or this article, sorry. Then the article explained that there is a project in order to develop criteria and interfaces for teaching visually impaired students through the participation of this type of student in the article or in the investigation. Because because we need the feedback from the visually impaired student in order to improve our teaching methodologies, and that is the main thing about this article. So I have it in the relevant content of this article, that is the knowledge acquisition methodology that they use. They use a broad and a shallow survey in order to gather information from the visually impaired students. One of the things is that there is a lack of inclusive solutions in order to implement diagrams and graphical information in the class. What this means is that maybe I am not completely blinded, maybe I am partially sighted, so I can use colors, I can use images, and I'm not using because I have this visual impairment. And that is the thing, there is a spectrum and maybe I can use some colors, so we have to implement, we have to be inclusive with all blinded, partially sighted, and sighted students. All have their considerations, so maybe because they have visual impairment, that doesn't mean that we are not going to use colors. Maybe that means that we are going to use more bright colors in order to differentiate with each other. That would be the most relevant information about this article, but actually this article have tons of information when it comes to the target user feedback, that is the visually impaired students. They are going to talk about what they want in the classroom, what they need from the tools, and how the programs can be improved in order to fulfill their needs. Now, a more detailed task analysis, that is the second knowledge acquisition methodology. It is based on the interview and tasks to an expert student that is going to provide this feedback, this information about what they want, what they need, and how to improve what they already have. Now, for the conclusion, we have that the solution should be inclusive. That is what I was saying, that they have to be for sighted, partially sighted, and blind students, for all. It doesn't matter what their condition is. They have to implement certain types of things like bright colors, bigger size, font size, and something like that. Now, the solution should be computer trackable. What this means that technology is way too important to doesn't mention it here, because technology is a tool to facilitate the educational process of visually impaired students. They are going to need this support, this technological support, in order to have their facilities and live a common life and have a common educational experience. Now, the main purpose of this article is to understand the importance of have feedback from the direct source, that in this case are the visually impaired students, in order to design tools, programs, and a curriculum. As teachers, we have to understand that we need to consider what they want and what they need in order to decide how to teach them the information that they are going to receive. And now, we elicit some certain kind of information from this article for our research project, but the most important thing maybe is the feedback, the participation in the surveys and interviews and tasks analysis from the visually impaired students. And not only that, but the analysis from the professionals and the professors that are very important for us. And maybe the most important thing in this article is to remember that we need to understand that we are designing for other people that maybe we don't understand their necessity, maybe we don't understand what they need, what they want, or how they want to receive that kind of information. But the thing is that this article is very important for our investigation because of that, because of the suggestions. For example, one of the students suggested that the colors should be more bright in order to differentiate each other, because they maybe have a problem distinguishing between colors, and there is a visual impairment, but that doesn't mean that they can see. So that is the type of thing that maybe we overlook, and this type of investigation or article help us to have into consideration. And thank you all, and this will be it.